Hi, Catherine. It's good to see you again.
Hi, it's good to see you too.
How was your week?
It was good. I had a test at the end of last week, and so this week's really free for me, so I'm really excited about that.
That's nice. How are your tests?
They were fine. It's mostly I had a paper and a test, so
Okay.
yeah, it wasn't too difficult. But I'm happy to have this free week before Dead Week, and then finals, and then Christmas break. So
Good. Well, we met right before Thanksgiving. Did you have a good Thanksgiving?
I did. It was a little different this year for my family. I ended up, my dad didn't come to Thanksgiving. Like I told you last week, my parents are divorced, and which was fine. He stayed and had Thanksgiving with his girlfriend, Caroline, and she's really, really sweet, and I really like her a lot. So he stayed in Tulsa and did that, and me and my mom, we went to Oklahoma City where her parents live, so my grandparents. And for some reason, like, the whole side of her family, like, just didn't decide to come to Thanksgiving this year, which upset me at first. I mean, I kind of cried a little bit to my mom. But it all ended up working out. Her and I just went to the hotel, the Skirvin downtown, and we ate dinner or lunch with my grandparents. So it was different, and it was a little weird, but I mean, yeah.
So have your Thanksgivings ever been like that before?
No. Usually, my parents divorced when I was a senior in high school, and I mean, they're actually kind of weirdly, like, okay with each other. Like, they're friends, and they call each other every once in a while to kind of talk about me and just kind of, that stuff. But he doesn't have any family on his side. He's an only child, and both his parents have passed away. So after my parents got a divorce, he would always come to Thanksgiving still.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's kind of a weird divorce relationship because he could, like, come and hang out with us. And he just started dating Caroline, like I mentioned, about a year and a half ago. So it was kind of, for him, it was like, it's time for me to move on. I don't need to, So like I said, it was different not having him there, but it was fine.
Well, it seems like you're handling it pretty well then.
Yeah.
Last week we were kind of just talking about your family and yourself. Is there anywhere you'd like to start today? Do you want to keep talking about things that you enjoy doing or school or anything?
No, I think I'm good there. It's mostly just like my family. It's just weird because, like I said, my dad's dating this girl and my mom's dating this guy that he's been dating for forever, about like 2 or 3 years now, and we don't really get along. I don't know, he's different. I think my mom could do better. And so we actually just kind of started to get along, or at least, like, I tolerate him. But it's hard because, like, my mom wants me to go out to dinner with him and his family, and I just, like, don't want to. And I know that upsets my mom.
Well, can you tell me a little bit more about that? Like, what about him do you not like?
He's just, well, not that I'm comparing him to my dad, but he's just a lot different than my dad. He's just very different. He's hard to explain. He's an engineer, so he kind of, like, thinks like an engineer. He's kind of just he expects people to, like, understand what he's saying. It's like, no, his name's Greg. It's like, Greg, I don't understand what you're talking about. Like, you're too smart for me, I guess. I don't know. But, I don't know. My mom comes to me about a lot of stuff sometimes, and she'll, like, kind of tell me negative things about him.
So you and your mom have a close relationship then?
Yes, I would consider her one of my best friends.
Okay.
So yeah, she'll come to me with some stuff, which maybe she shouldn't because she's my mom, but, one time I, like, caught him, not cheating on her, but I guess they were, like, on a break and I didn't know, and he was, like, kissing this other woman. I don't know, it was really weird, and so that's why I really don't like him, is because I saw that, and apparently they were on a break. I don't know, like I said, it's just weird. My mom and I have a really close relationship, but sometimes I feel like it's a little too close, maybe.
Well, it's good that you and your mom are so close. Have you talked to her about Greg at all?
Oh, yeah. She knows I don't like him.
What does she think about that?
It upsets her because she, of course, like, I'm her daughter, and she wants me, and, she always says, like, it's you, like, you're my daughter, like, anything I do for you. But also she has a lot of fun with Greg, and so I think I don't know. I just think that she wants to make me happy, but she wants to be happy at the same time.
Right.
So we've had some pretty tough conversations before, but like I said, I tolerate him now, and I finally have matured with the situation, and just, if he makes my mom happy, then I'm gonna support it, I guess.
Well, it sounds like you You're really like understanding the situation and are doing your best that you can. I mean, have you talked to your mom about trying to accept him as part of not necessarily the family, but accept him as your mom's boyfriend and stuff?
Yeah. Like I said, just recently we kind of bonded, I guess. It was the summer. We were at the lake, and I was with a family friend, and she was with him. He has a boat up there, and they kind of met up with us, and we kind of were just talking, just hanging out at the lake, and I was just finally. I said this to my mom, not to him, but I just was like, you know what? He makes you happy. I'm gonna quit fighting this fight. There's no reason for me to be fighting you anymore. So she knows that I've accepted him. So
well, that's good. And does that make you feel more relieved or?
It actually does, because over Thanksgiving break, he was around a little bit, and he's always been nice to me. It's not, but I mean, it's just kind of awkward because I'm like, hi, so we were fine over Thanksgiving break.
Well, that's good. And what about your dad's girlfriend? Do you like her?
Oh, I love her. She's really sweet. At first it was a little awkward because they started dating. Like I said, it's been about a year. So it was around Christmas time last year when they first started dating. And they wanted me to come over on Christmas Eve and open gifts. Like, she bought me Christmas gifts and all this stuff. And, I was just really overwhelmed because I was like, oh my gosh, all these new, not necessarily traditions, but all these new things that were happening that don't normally happen on around Christmas time for me. So I was a little overwhelmed with that, but she's so, so sweet. And now that they've been dating for about a year now, she has a daughter who's 2 years younger than me, and we get along really, really well. So we all went to dinner, and, I'm comfortable with them and doing that with them. So now it's just kind of with my mom and her boyfriend, kind of getting there too.
And do you think it's just simply because of Greg that it's hard for you to do that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But like I said, hopefully, and I told him because my mom wanted me to go to dinner with them over Thanksgiving break, and I didn't want to. And so when I was saying when I was saying goodbye to my mom to go back to Stillwater, Greg, was like, hi, bye, gave me a hug, and I was like, bye, and I told him, I was like, we'll do dinner during Christmas break, and he was like, I would really like that. So, like I said, I'm just trying to get to that point now where I'm just over it.
Well, do you think Greg really likes you?
Actually, I think he kind of does. Obviously he's gonna like me because I'm his girlfriend's daughter, but we've had some good conversations before it kind of got messy at the very beginning of the relationship. He was really nice, and we got along really well. But then that whole kind of drama, I guess, happened, and he stayed away. But I was up at school too, so it wasn't that big of an issue. But now it's fine. I think he likes me.
Does he have any children?
He does. He has 2 twin sons, and they're 26 years old.
Okay.
And one's dating someone and one's not. And so that's the family that they always want me to go and eat dinner with them. And I just think that's really awkward. And my mom's always like, you can bring someone. I'm like, who? She's like, I don't know, a friend, but I just think that would be really, really awkward. So
do you get along with them like you do Caroline's daughter, or no?
I don't really know them that well. They're so much older. They're not that much older than me, but they're out of college. Haley, Caroline's daughter, and I are both still in college, and so we're kind of going through the same stuff right now. But his sons are, they have a job. So they kind of have, they're at a different stage in their life, I guess. So I don't really know them that well.
So is part of the problem for you just trying to find a balance in hanging out or being with Greg and your mom and his family, and kind of trying to make it seem like it is with your dad and Caroline and Haley? Is that where the problem is just trying to care for them like you do your dad's side?
That, and also just realizing that things are changing and that I can't have, me, my mom, and my dad sitting down opening presents. That's probably not going to happen this Christmas. Because just like Thanksgiving, we would have that kind of Christmas thing where we would still all 3 get together. So I just need to get over that I'm being pulled into 2 separate new lives, if that makes sense. So I just need to I don't know. I need to understand that that's going to happen, because my dad's already, he's in love with Caroline, and I fully support it, and they'll be together probably for a really long time, if not forever. So, just having that new family, and then also having my mom, who's kind of still iffy about Greg, but still dates him, and having that side of my family.
And how long has she been dating Greg?
3 years.
So she's been dating Greg longer than
My
your
dad.
dad's been dating Caroline.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, but they, like I said, Greg and her, they've had rocky relationships, so.
So let me try to make sure I understand everything before we kind of move forward and set some goals. You are close with Caroline and Greg, and they haven't been dating a lesser amount of time than your mom, or excuse me, Caroline and your dad have been dating a less amount of time than Greg and your mom, correct?
Yes.
And so you're just kind of feel torn in the middle because they're kind of coming together and having their own two separate lives, and not all having one like big happy family that's together, though they were divorced all throughout high school and your college years, correct? And so you just aren't sure of how to like move on with the situation, accept it, and kind of are torn on what to do. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's just, yeah. Like I said, just being pulled in two different directions is kind of hard, but I mean.
So will you, I don't know if you've talked to this with your parents or not, so will you have to choose and decide who to spend certain holidays with since they will be separated now?
No. My parents, like I said, it's a weird divorce. They're understanding, you know. Would both my parents like me to do something with them on Christmas morning? Yes. But I'm at that age where I can tell them kind of what I want to do, but I also feel like I need to do stuff with both of them, if that makes sense.
And do you think now that they both are dating somebody that they could come together and like have a Thanksgiving still as a family, but with the person that they care for now?
No, probably not. Not that they don't, like, it's not that, like, Caroline hates my mom or my mom hates Caroline, you know. That would just be a little too weird. I mean, that would be kind of cool, but yeah. No, probably not, which is fine. I mean, like I said, I'm pretty lucky in the fact that it's not like my parents don't talk and all that stuff, but like I said, it's just a different stage in the divorce, I guess, now, because now they're both seeing someone.
Okay, I understand. Does that bother you then, now that it's just going to be completely different?
Like Thanksgiving, like I said, I kind of got really emotional about it for a little while on the phone with my mom. I was just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe none of your family's coming into town like they always do. Like, that's just stupid. And, you know, Thanksgiving was really the one time of year that my mom's side, because my dad doesn't really have family, my mom's side of the family like, got together. It's really the only time I saw my uncles, the only time I saw my two cousins. So it was kind of weird that I was like, really, you guys aren't going to come in? Like, it's the one time I get to see you guys. And then, you know, my mom was like, well, maybe we could go to Craig's place and that kind of stuff. So I'm just like, whatever. I don't know. So.
Last week, I'm just trying to kind of clarify, because last week you kind of told me that the divorce doesn't ever really bother you, but now you're sort of portraying signs that it does upset you in a different way. So can you kind of clear that up for me just so I can understand where you're at?
I think I like the fact that my parents can get along. I think the part of the divorce that upsets me is the new relationships, but they don't upset me. Okay, I am kind of contradicting myself. I don't know. I like them. I like Caroline, and I'm starting to like Greg, but I just don't like the fact that I'm only one person. I can't be in two places at once.
You just kind of feel pulled?
Yeah, and I think that's the part that I don't like about the divorce, which makes everything kind of harder. Because it's like, I love the fact that my parents can still get along, but it's just like really hard for me to please both of them. I think to please both of them.
That does sound very difficult. Have you thought about or talked to your parents on how you can feel better about this situation?
We've talked a little bit. I remember last Christmas, I told my dad, I was just like, you know, it's just really, really weird, and I don't know how to feel, because it was right when you started dating Caroline. And I was like, it's just really upsetting. And he kind of got emotional too, and we just kind of had a talk. He was like, I want you to always feel like you're here. Like, nothing's changed. I was like, but everything really has changed. But I'm at that point in my life where it's like, I'm getting older. I'm going to start making new traditions as well. You know, maybe if I meet somebody and start a family, you know, like that kind of stuff. So I need to, it's going to sound kind of harsh on myself, but I need to kind of like grow up, I guess, and like accept the fact that, you know, my parents are happy and I just need to be happy for them.
Well, you definitely are handling it in a mature way. At this time, I would just kind of like for both of us to come up with an idea or kind of brainstorm something that you can start doing, not necessarily have to work on right now, but something you can kind of work towards before the Christmas season comes up, before you celebrate it with both of your parents, though it may be separate, and what you think you can do to make yourself feel a little more relieved about the situation. Is there anything that you've thought about?
I've kind of, thought about, I told Greg before I left that, I was like, yeah, we'll do dinner and stuff. So maybe I guess just, maybe not necessarily worrying about Christmas itself, the day of, but just kind of, going to dinner with my dad and his girlfriend and hanging out with my mom and her boyfriend, going to dinner with them, like kind of just making sure that I'm, accepting both of them and not giving myself too much pressure.
I definitely think that sounds like a good idea. Just you don't need to burden yourself with that. You just need to enjoy, like, it's a holiday season and it's for your family. It doesn't necessarily mean it's just Christmas. It's the whole entire break. And so I think that if you split up your time and spend time with both of them and give Greg a little bit, not necessarily more of a chance, but just be open with him and accept him as a human, because we all do things that are stupid. And if your mom's not hurt by it, maybe there's a reason for it, And so I think if you divide up your time like that, it might take a lot of pressure off of you.
Yeah.
Does that sound good?
I think that would work.
Okay, well, today we're about running out of time, but just so I can make sure everything is understood and so I can think about things for next week when we talk, I just want to make sure that you're going to do great and that you're feeling confident in yourself and that you'll be able to talk with both of your parents and confront them with the situation and how you feel about it, and be able to divide up your time and enjoy yourself and enjoy your time with your family over the holiday season. Does that sound good?
Yeah, that sounds great.
Okay. Well, I look forward to meeting with you next week, Catherine.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.